One question I often ask to myself is how software update synchronization happens and is displayed in Configuration Manager. In case if there are no software updates that is visible in Configuration Manager, what steps need to be done so that all the software updates gets populated in the console. Also, we will explore WSUS, that is Windows Server Update Service, which is a backbone to get all the software updates. Before moving forward, if you are new to this particular channel or yet to subscribe, then please click subscribe so that you get more updates related to MECM. This is your host Yagnesh Malavia welcoming you in this particular channel. In the previous video, we reviewed multiple things within software updates, that is how to review different software update classification, how to get the entire list of updates that is released by Microsoft, then how to check each KB feature, issues, workaround fixes, supersedence, and manually download. Also, we had a step-by-step guide for patching Windows client devices, how the scanning happens, which logs to review, how to remediate if there are failures while deploying the patches, and if the patches are deployed but still it is not showing as compliant, then what things we need to check. And also, if patch scanning is failing because of GPO issue, how it is linked with registry.pol file with error codes. Now in this particular video, we are going to get a step prior in the terms that there are no software updates that is available, what steps we need to do so that we can get all the software updates. Also, we will understand how WSUS is linked with all software updates. So let us understand with the scenario. We all know that Microsoft releases updates every second Tuesday of the month, and it's recommended to install the updates because there are vulnerabilities that are out which may be addressed with the upcoming updates. Now, if we have a location where there are 10,000 devices, say in Texas, and there are 10,000 devices in London, and these devices are connecting to the Microsoft Windows Update Server, will be using a lot of bandwidth. Instead of that, we can configure WSUS, which will communicate with Microsoft Windows Update Server on the internet, and it will bring all the update contents to WSUS. Now, this WSUS server will start scanning all the internal computers, and that particular scan result will be stored in the database that we have mentioned in WSUS. So over here, the WSUS will determine that how many devices are having that particular update as missing, or it's required, or it's not required. Now, to get these things done via MECM, that is Configuration Manager console, there is a role which we need to configure, that is SUP Role. Now this particular SUP role, which is software update point, is going to integrate WSUS in MECM. So previously the scanning that was done by WSUS, it will send the result to SUP, and SUP which is integrated with MECM, and hence we are going to see the updates in MECM console. Now from MECM, we can configure to install updates on all the devices that are available. So this is a communication that will happen. Microsoft Windows Update Server will communicate with Windows Software Update Service, and it will send the information to SUP, which is integrated with MECM, and from this entire communication will happen. Now let us understand practically how this will be configured. So the first thing that we are going to do it is we need to install WSUS. For that, in the server manager, we will click on manage and we will select add roles and features. We will get a pop-up where we will click next, role based or feature based installation, next, select a server, next. Here we need to select IIS and Windows Server Update Services. In this particular device I have already configured. However, I have taken snapshots of what are the options that we need to select. Let us review that. So we need to select IIS and Windows Server Update Services. All the features which are there, we need to click on add features, click on next. Then in the features we will see a .NET Framework 3.5 where we need to select all the options which is available. Then we need to give a tick mark on bits, that is Background Intelligent Transfer Services, Remote Differential Compression, and after that we click next. We will see a web server role IIS as we selected that. Further, we need to configure over here. Make sure there is a tick mark in Windows authentication, and I need to select IIS Management Console. After that I click next. As we have added WSUS, over here I need to select role services. Now we are seeing 3 role services. WID is internal database, and as we have our SQL server configured, I am selecting this particular SQL server connectivity. Then I will click next. Here it's asking me the location where all the updates will be installed. So I have created C:\Windows software update content folder, and this is a location which I will define over here. This is a location where all the software updates will install, which are going to sync from WSUS. After that, I will click next. Then it's asking me DB instance. Now, as we have selected SQL in the previous snapshot, SQL server connectivity, after that we are getting that option of DB instance. Now over here I will mention database server name. This is the SQL server where we have installed and configured. So database.lab.com, and I need to click check connection. Here it will verify the things are working properly or not, and it should give us success validation. After this I will click install. We'll wait for the entire installation to get completed. After this we will see service which is WSUS service that will be added, but it will be in the disabled state. I need to do a right click and make the startup type as automatic. After this, over here in the notification I will see a pop-up which will say that launch post installation task. Over here I need to click on it. This will create WSUS website and database in database server. So let us see how it looks like. For that, in this particular machine I've already done the steps that I just spoke. Let us see how IIS looks. In the IIS we will see in application pool WSUS pool is created, and in the sites we will see WSUS administration on which port it is going to configure and further configuration setting. Now if I go to my database server and I open SQL Server Management Console, I will click connect. Over here within the database folder we will see SUSDB. This is because we configured earlier. Now after this particular stage we are in a good position to configure SUP role so that we can further configure WSUS to get further updates from Microsoft Windows Update Server. Now before configuring SUP, let's see how WSUS looks. For that I will go back to my MECM server, and in this particular device we have Windows Server Update Service. Either I can write WSUS, which will open Windows Server Update Service, or I can locate the same in the Server Manager Tools, Windows Server Update Services. This will open WSUS. As you see over here, if I go in the MECM updates, currently I am not seeing any updates. It's showing 0 because we haven't configured it. For that I can go to options, and here there is a WSUS server configuration wizard. If I click on it, it states things you should do before starting this wizard. Is the server firewall configured to allow clients to access the server? Can this computer connect to the upstream server such as Microsoft Update? The user credential is set so that it can get the update. I will say yes. Next. Microsoft Update Improvement Program, if we want to participate we can give a tick mark. Next. Which is the upstream server? So if we have another Windows Server Update service within our environment, I can set that, or this particular device is going to connect directly to synchronize Microsoft Update, then I can give this particular tick mark. I will proceed with this option. Then is there any proxy server? I don't have any proxy server, so I will leave it. Then we get this particular option where connect to upstream server, download update information from Microsoft Update. I will say start connecting. So it's trying to connect to the Microsoft Update server. Okay, so it has successfully connected. I will click next, and now it's asking me which languages I want. So I'm selecting over here English. You can specify the products for which you want the updates. Let me proceed ahead with this. Click next. Now it's a classification. There are different classification. Which classification we want? So critical updates, definition updates, security upgrade updates, lot of things are there. I will click next. So it's asking me how you want to synchronize manually or automatically. I'm saying synchronize manually, and you have now finished configuring your WSUS server. You can go to launch the WSUS administration, and I can click next and finish. Now we are not going to proceed with this. This is just to showcase how the things work if we are having only WSUS in our environment. So I will not be going with this step. Instead of that, I will be directly configuring MECM. This similar options we will see it out over there. So I will cancel this particular option, and I will go to my console, and here, as we discussed earlier, we will configure the SUP role. For that, we will go to administration, and in the server and site system roles, we should have the software update point role configured. Right now I'm not having this role, so I will need to add this role. For that, I will click over here and add site system roles. We will get this particular screen. I will click next. Use a proxy server in case if it's there, it's directly connected, so I will just click next. So now over here we need to select software update point role. As soon as we select this software update point role, we will see further options has been added to configure it. And in the description it states that a software update point integrates with Windows Server Update Service, that is WSUS, to provide software updates to configuration manager clients. Now the options that we will see will be somewhere similar to WSUS configuration. Let's see that. So over here it says that which ports it's going to use to communicate. It's 8530 and 8531, and my current clients are all intranet based, so it's okay. I will select next. Specify proxy and account setting for the software update point. Here it's asking me if I'm having different credentials to log into the WSUS, then I can configure. It's the same, so I can click next. Then in synchronization source, we need to select from where we are going to get our updates. So we will be selecting synchronize from Microsoft Update, and we'll click next. Then in synchronize schedule, it is asking me if I need to update synchronization automatically. I will give a tick, and I will select every 7 days it should synchronize. Then I click next. In supersedence rules, it's asking me what should be done with the updates, whether it should immediately expire or it should wait for 1 or 2 months, that we can define. I am stating immediately expire and click next. Then in WSUS maintenance is asking select tasks that configuration manager can run automatically after each software update synchronization to clean up and maintain Windows Server Update Service. So I'm saying remove absolute updates from the WSUS database, which will remove it from the database. I will click next. And then maximum runtime for Windows feature update, it's mentioned 120 minutes, and max runtime for Office 365 860 minutes, so I will leave it default, and I will click next. Then it's update files, whether we are looking to download full files for all approved updates or download both full files of approved updates and express installation files for Windows 10. I'm selecting this and clicking next, which is classification. I will select critical updates and security updates. Click next. Over here in the products, I will expand all products. Within Microsoft, we can select certain products. However, the best option is to give a tick mark and remove the tick mark, so that if there are default products, that will be removed. Over here I'll expand Windows, and within that Windows Server 2016, I'll give a tick. Next. Then in languages, we can select English by default and click next. So we are seeing the summary. I will click next and we'll see the progress. Now this is successfully completed. I will click close. Now as you see over here, we are having 7 roles. If I do a right click and refresh, the roles have changed to 8, and also we are seeing software update point role, which is added over here. Now if I need to see what is happening behind the scenes, like which logs I need to review, I can go to C:\program files, Microsoft Configuration Manager, within that logs, and over here I can check SUP setup log. Now this particular log will tell me whether my SUP role is successfully installed or not, and here it states installation was successful. It means that SUP role is configured successfully. If there are any issues, we can review this particular file and we may get some hint what could be a reason if the configuration failed. The second log, which is WCM. This particular log gives us the status of SCCM, that is MECM and SUP connection. So as you see over here, it's saying attempting connection to local WSUS, and then it says successfully connected to local WSUS. Now as this connection is successful, whatever the updates that will be synced to WSUS, we will be able to get it in all software updates when we go into software library and all software updates. So right now it's showing no items found. We will wait for a few minutes and then we will check whether the synchronization was successful or not. No updates are populated as it's showing no items found. So it's time to check the software update synchronization status, what it is. For that I will go to monitoring, and here we have an option of software update point synchronization status. Once I click on it, I should get the status. Here it shows failed with an error code 0x801-31500. Also we can check if there are any alerts that is triggered, and when I click on a alert, it's saying software update synchronization for the software update point role PS1 site failed. If I click on it, it's giving me further information. So another important log file which gives more information about the synchronization, that is WSync Manager. For that I will go to C:\program files, Microsoft Configuration Manager logs. Over here WSYNC mgr.log. Let's review this. Here I am seeing sync failed, will retry in 60 minutes. So it's retrying every 60 minutes and it's failing. And the error we are seeing is not enough memory resources are available to complete this operation. So the same error is existing for several hours and it's going in a loop but never able to complete, and that is the reason that we are not seeing updates in the software update within the console. So let me pause this particular video, investigate and come back. When I investigated this particular error, in few of the forums it was highlighting to restart the server. So let me restart this particular MECM server. So let me open the log file and we will again do the synchronization to check if restart is helping. C:\program files, Microsoft Configuration Manager, logs, WSYNC, this particular log, and let me open the console. I will go to software library, software updates or software updates, and here I will click synchronize software updates. You can review the synchronization process by checking the SMS WSUS Sync Manager component in the component status node of the monitoring workspace. Are you sure you want to initiate site-wide synchronization of software updates? I will say yes, and I can monitor this log further. So even after rebooting, it is giving me same message of not enough memory. So let me check my current memory on this particular MECM. Over here it's 3.5 GB memory. So let me increase the memory, as this is my virtual machine which is located in portal.azure.com. I am logging over here, and within the virtual machine MECM I will go to size and let me select 7 GB RAM and resize it. So it's resizing. Resize virtual machine is successful. Let me go back to my virtual machine and start it. Yeah, it's showing running. Let's check the current memory, whether it has really increased or not. So for that I will go to my computer, that is this PC. Right click properties. Yes, it is showing 7 GB RAM. So let's again sync it. First open the logs. wsync mgr.log. Let's open console. Within this we will go to software library. Within that, software updates, all software updates. Now we will click on synchronize software updates. We will click yes to have a synchronization right now. And let's review the logs. So it has initiated. So now it's showing WSUS synchronizing updates process 2 out of 54. So earlier we were seeing errors that WSUS synchronization categories, and after that immediately we saw errors about the memory, but now we are not seeing that error. Instead of that, it is progressing. So now it has progressed. We can see the synchronization is completed. 54 out of 55 items, 100%. So let's check the updates in the all software updates. For that I will go to software library, all software updates, and yes, it is populated. So as you see, so over here we are seeing currently all the Windows Server 2016 updates. The reason behind it is that we have only enabled Windows Server 2016. If you are looking to enable all the other Windows 10 updates also, then I can go to administration sites, software update point, and within this I can select the products. If I need Windows 10 also, then I can go over here and then I can select Windows 10. Also, if I need some other classification, I can select that, and automatically in the next synchronization, this all Windows 10 updates, we will see it in this particular list. Now let's check how WSUS looks. For that I will log into WSUS, that is Windows Server Update Service, and here we should see all the updates. Yep, we are seeing the updates, and these updates are related to Windows Server 2016 because that's the only update we enabled through MECM console. So at start we were discussing how WSUS is going to sync the content from the Windows Update server, and same synchronization will happen to MECM through the SUP role that is enabled. Now as this particular infrastructure is set, we are managing entire deployment through MECM console. So at the start we were saying there were no software updates that was visible in the MECM console. We enabled WSUS rule, we configured, we did troubleshooting, and finally we got all the enabled updates visible in the software update section within MECM console. So that's the learning I'm sharing. If you feel that the content that I'm sharing is good, you are liking the content, then please like and comment, because your comments are helping me to come up with more valuable learning sessions. Also subscribe to this particular channel so that you get more updates related to MECM. This is your host Yagnesh Malavia, thanking you for watching this video.